entonces estamos a punto de entrar.
Pues sí, la obra de Bart Vargas se hace totalmente de
objetos reciclados, todo lo que iba a la basura, y es por eso que es tan importante, tiene un gran valor ecológico. Así que, bueno, vamos.
Vamos.
Yeah, of course. This is a really great exhibition. It's like a 20-year collective of his work, and it's got a ton of pieces with reused pieces, stuff from thrift stores. People really love the keyboards. They think that's really interesting since it's such like a tactile medium.
Well, looking at the map that's made with the keys from the keyboard, the first thing that strikes me, of course, is that it is the world inverted, with the southern continents at the top of the map, right at the bottom.
Yeah, I love that about it. People ask me what do I think. Usually that's like a cue of Eurocentrism being flipped on its head. I was talking to one of my coworkers and she was talking about, since this piece, or this whole exhibit is about the Anthropocene and like impending human impact, it's like, what are we doing anymore? You know, the world is flipped on its head. We're so polluted and confused.
And can you tell me a little bit about the Anthropocene?
Yeah, so that's like a new term that we've come up with to describe our next human era that we put upon the earth with all of our impact with the environment, pollution, buildings, everything.
And
You were the curator. You are the curator of this marvelous exhibition. So you got to be in touch with Bart before he was coming here, and then you got to, be around with him. How was he? I guess he was an incredible person.
He's an amazing person. He is truly a Renaissance artist. I mean, he works in paint, he works in clay, he works in found materials. Everything that he does is about life in the Anthropocene and what we're doing to the planet. And he has just a wonderful way of talking about how important it is to recycle materials, everything. I mean, even the canvas that he has or the boards that he has, everything's recycled. It doesn't matter. He'll go out when they take a theater set down. He has that all on his calendar. They strike the set. He goes and picks up the set, and that's what he's painting on. So everything is about using recycled materials. And part of the reason that we brought him here is, is because his artwork matches so closely the mission of the museum and the university, which is about creating a sustainable future. And what does that look like, whether you're an artist, a mathematician, a philosopher? He really embodies that as a teacher, as an educator, as an activist. He's very active in his community of Omaha, Nebraska. He works with a lot of different arts organizations to help them work with after-school programs. He works with the elderly. He does so many different things as a community activist as well as an artist, and uses art to help people talk about the issues that are important to them in their lives.
And how long did it take you to put this together?
That's a great question. This is a mid-career retrospective for the artist. So he likes to say it took him since the day he was born to come to this time. But I met Bart when I was in Iowa for a year during COVID and worked with him to bring a few of his pieces to an exhibition at the Sioux City Art Center. And so I met him there and did studio visits with him. And then after I came back to the Churchton Center, we spent, I would say, probably another 6 months looking at his artwork. I had done an in-person studio visit when I was there in Omaha. And then we looked at a lot of his work online back and forth. He would send images, we would talk about it. And part of what I think is important as a curator is to allow artists a space to do what they want to do and to have their own voice. And so I really see curation as a collaboration, not as you will do this. We did that together. So we sort of walked around, laid things out together. This here, this wall, is all his. He worked with our preparer, and he had a vision for that wall. He likes to tell a story that when he was showing me these images, we just had little tiny thumbnails, and that's all I could see. And I mean, it had the sizes and everything, but he just kept saying, "Trust me." And I said, "Of course I trust you." So he decided what this layout would be. And then for the rest of it, we walked around and really talked about where things would be. Because it's a mid-career retrospective, there's a lot of work from the, I think, early 1990s all the way until very recently. And he wanted to show the relationship between his earlier work and his most recent work, which is this work. So we talked about what those relationships look like and how they would show up on the wall.
So is there some kind of chronology as you walk around the...
There's not a specific chronology because it was important to him that the viewer saw the relationship between all of the work. So like these are earlier pieces here, but they have a very specific relationship to the keyboard pieces, but they also have a relationship, strong visual relationship to the paintings on the wall back here. So he really wanted people to not see the work as linear because he doesn't think linearly. He thinks in sort of overall way about the work all being related. Mm-hmm. So it's not, I did this, I did this, I did this, but this has informed this, but then I might go back to this, either visually, aesthetically, or conceptually.
And I was curious to what degree he stresses his Latino identity, both when he presents his work and in the work itself. I see pieces, obviously, I'm assuming those would be his parents or grandparents.
Those are his grandparents, yeah. Yeah.
And the skull also looks like it's a piece that's inspired from Colombian motifs.
The skull is actually the result of one of the leaders in the Hispanic community in Omaha. She every year does Dia de los Muertos exhibition, and so she called Bart and said, "I would like you to make a skull for us." And he initially said, "I don't have time to do that." And then she called her back a few days later and said, "I really want you to do the skull for this exhibition." And Bart said, when she asked the second time, I could not say no. So he created that specifically for a specific installation for Dia de los Muertos in Omaha. And then it took on a life of its own. It's been on book covers, it's been in magazines. The skull is, his concept of being American is that we are a country of immigrants, whether it's from South America, from Mexico, from Poland, from wherever it happens to be, that he is an American. He's proud to be an American. He's proud to be a veteran. He is also very, very proud of his heritage from Mexico. Bart has two families. He has his grandparents' family and his birth family. His father grew up, and he talks very much about his father's trajectory as a Mexican American and how difficult that was. That is his birth family. He was also taken into a foster family when he was 16 because he came from a very traumatic background. So he also has his Anglo-American family. Those are both his families. He considers both of those families his family. So he's very, very proud of his heritage, but he's also very, very proud of being American. And that's, I think, really important today, given the fracture in this country about immigration.